So, thanks guys for coming. I'm going to run an activity now. First of all, we're going to spend about 4-5 minutes silently just relax. Maybe you can lie down, just find a comfortable spot with no talking. Would you guys be comfortable out here, or would you rather go outside?
Yeah, outside.
Inside.
I'm already lounging.
Yeah, outside's good.
Comfortable out here.
Yeah.
Okay, so find a spot a little bit spread out on this deck where you can fully relax, chill out, and you're not going to be distracted from anyone else. Thanks. Next, I would like you to all close your eyes. Now I want you to really try and relax. Take a deep breath in and out. Now I want you to visualize yourself in a really special place to you. If you're a Kiwi, it needs to be in New Zealand. If you're an Aussie, it can be in either New Zealand or Australia. It can be either. So really, it might be your favourite spot at the beach. It needs to be a natural environment, somewhere you've actually been to and you can visualise realistically. Might be on a mountaintop, it might just be in an urban environment in a park somewhere, it might be near the river, you choose. Really imagine yourself there, enjoying that place. Imagine yourself doing what you love to do at that place. Try and think about why it's so special to you. Now I want you to imagine that you're a bird flying over top of this special, beautiful place of yours. And I want you to take in a big picture of this area that you're at. Visualize it, all the details, from a bird's eye view. Shortly, I'm going to ask you to draw this place. In about 20 seconds, I'll ask you to open your eyes, and what I'd like you to do is come inside and grab a piece of paper. There's a variety of different coloured pens in there, and I'd like you to just to find a nice spot by yourself, inside or outside if you like, and I'd like you to draw from a bird's eye view this special place of yours as realistic as possible. And I'll be giving you about 5 to 10 minutes to do this, to really put in some effort. Cool, you can all open your eyes. Cool, so you can slowly make your way inside. Just do the screen. Just keep moving. You don't need to. Just cut it. Alright. 30 seconds, guys. New Zealand. Does anyone desperately need another minute? Right. Okay. Cool. Now, put your pens down and sleep. So, thank you for doing that. What we're going to do now is go around the group, and I'd like you to show us your drawing, what you've created, and I'd like you to share with the group why, or explain where it is, or what it is, and why it's special to you. So anyone can start, and we'll just go around.
Hey guys, my name's Jeremy. My favourite location, or sort of location that's true in my heart, is the Matuki Valley back home. That's in central Otago of New Zealand. And it's a special memory because I had my first big school camp there in Year 9, and that's where I went to the school lodge, and old boys had previously built that lodge, so it's a pretty important place. As you can see in this little thing, there's our little lodge. We've got two big buildings and we've got this stream. I remember spending all my spare time just building dams in that stream. It's just so much fun.
The rocks in the river?
Yeah. Just build rocks on rocks. It's awesome. And this one was my first grade 3 rapid that I paddled. Going just in the same valley, and it was just like sort of read a run with another friend, and excellent lot of little fun things.
Right, this is my picture. So my place is down at Stewart Island, and down at the bottom of Stewart Island is this place called Port Muses, and you really have to have good weather to get there, and so as a family we've been kind of waiting for this weather opportunity to get down there for a holiday for quite some time, and finally get down there, and then just get to do some exploring, take out our little dinghy, and this particular spot you can only get to using a little dinghy, so it's actually like a little cave entrance, so you come through, it's kind of hard to see from a bird's eye view, but you come through this little cave entrance down here, and then it opens up and there's this little beach, and the whole bank going up to the normal tree line is just covered in all these ferns, and it's just a beautiful place.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Kind of thought of mine as I was drawing. I knew my place was a beach, and then as I started drawing the ocean, I thought of one in particular which is near my home, and it just, the waves are good, there's always lots of people, which is probably different from many others, and there's volleyball courts, and there's music sometimes, and as much as many people can be intimidating sometimes, I feel like this is one of those places where in the ocean you can kind of just people watch. And it's really cool.
I've drawn Uluru. So Uluru here is the middle. We've got water coming into like water holes, and all the animals around. This is my favourite area in Australia because I love that having everything around you but there's nothing. Absolutely love that. And growing up, my family, my school were really into like Indigenous Aboriginals and stuff. So being there with the music at sunrise and sunset was just amazing. I'm going to be selling this one at $300 if anybody wants to buy.
I just drawn a little bend in the lower Golden. Place resonates with me. Spent a lot of time down there. Caught a lot of good fish. So yeah, that's my spot. Got a bird to fly around.
I'm next. Okay. This is my picture. And I'm not completed it. I've really started with the bird's eye view, and I've seen it from the bird's eye view before. This is a gorge on the west coast of New Zealand on the Arahura River. And this here is a complex rapid that I only just began to depict. I know it quite well, above the water and below. My first grade 4 rapid. It's very small place. You can only really get there if you're on the water itself, and very few craft can get down it. And for me, this river resonates very strongly with me. It's where I spent a lot of time recreating and discovering who I really was. And for Māori, it's one of the most sacred valleys in New Zealand. It's where this stone came from. This came from this river, and for Māori it's where all Pounamu comes from. So it's a very special place. I can't describe how I feel when I'm here. I need it back.
That's cool, man.
Been away for too long.
Cool. This is my picture. Might be hard to see, but this is Mount Taranaki from the top, and the sun is over here, so this is a big shadow. I can see this mountain from my place in New Zealand. It's the mountain that created the river where I live. If you guys are familiar with the story about Mount Taranaki scrapping out Mount Ruapehu over a chick. I think, or Ruapehu's the chick mountain. You guys don't know that story?
No, Ruapehu's the lady.
No, Ruapehu's the lady, yeah. So, when Taranaki lost the fight and ran away, he made the Wanganui River, then shot out to the coast, which is the river I'm from. And I've been there a couple times. I've summoned it just the one time with a mate of mine and my brother, and that was awesome. I've been up there a bunch of times just to play in the snow and just to be there, and it's almost ridiculous how awesome it looks from the satellite, because it does look like this, and then around it is this national park, and then beyond that's just the dairy farmland, so it's like the national park's almost perfectly circular. If you guys have seen it on the map, it's an awesome place, and it's important to me because it's beautiful. It's
Cool. This is mine. It's the desert. So this is, the town is called San Pedro. It's in Chile, in Atacama Desert. This is special to me. So there's two kind of drawings in this. It's the finish line, which is something I've been wanting for 6.5 days. It's the most horrible thing I've ever done in my entire life, yet amazing. And it was that moment of going through the finish line where I was just like, that was horrible, but I kind of want to do it again. In my stupidity. And the next bit is the pub afterwards, because it was just kind of like, there's moments throughout the race that you didn't really see anybody, and like, it was nice to kind of everybody comes together and has a couple of pints together, and it's nice to kind of reconnect, and it's something I hold to be very special, because I don't think I've ever done anything so hard in my entire life since. Like, the things that have been kind of close, but damn,
What's the pub on the corner?
Is in
On the corner, like at a
It's up
crossroad.
there.
Yeah.
no, it's actually right in the middle of the town actually.
Yeah, at a crossroad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been
You stand at that crossroads at the right time of night.
There's only so many pubs in Synnott.
Alright, so this is my picture here, and it's this is a lake called Lake Aloha, and these mountains around here are the granite mountains of the Sierra Nevada mountains in Northern California, and so this area here is a place called Desolation Wilderness, and yeah, Lara knows it. And it's just out of Tahoe, and my heart is I've definitely got a piece of my heart here. I've spent quite a lot of time up here on solo trips, and also taking friends up here as well, and I think it's just a place where it's just so open. There's a real spirit about the place where you feel really, well, at least for myself, I feel really at home in that space, and especially when I was there just hanging out by myself. I was pretty happy just being in that space, and it's a place that I want to go back to, and I think about it a lot, and it's just such a pristine area, especially when you're went there a lot in the saddle seasons, they call it, in the springtime and the autumn time. So there weren't a lot of people there, and the water up there is just beautiful. It's beautiful water, and the mountains are incredible, and the trees are amazing, and there's meadows of all these different flowers everywhere. And just out the back is the Great Basin. Going out to Nevada and all the flat desert stretches way out to Utah. Yeah.
Thank you guys for sharing all your special places. That was really cool. What you're going to do now, what we're going to do is split you up into 3 groups, and we're going to have one group, you 3, and then Watson to Rose, and then Lara to Jeremy, you 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you out these pictures, and I'm going to I've chosen 3 drawings that we're going to focus on, and this is one of them here, and Ash's and Watson's are the other 2 that we're going to focus on. Okay, so in your groups, I'm going to hand these out, and I want you to think. This whole activity is actually focused on what could these places look like in 2050, or what is New Zealand going to look like in 2050? Sorry, Aussies, no. Sorry about that. That's the way it has to be. So yeah, have a look at these pictures. These are actually pictures that relate to trends of where we might be heading for 2050, and then in your group, flip it over and start to have a read of some of the, in black is kind of like facts of what people are predicting we're going to be heading towards in 2050, and the red is just my opinion, or my positive opinion, okay? Alright? Once you've done that and had a good read and thinking about what these specific places in New Zealand is going to look like in 2050, I'm going to get you as a group, in your groups, to go and, unfortunately, adjust these beautiful pictures to what it could look like. Now, one person, Watson's lucky. His is going to be completely focused on positive in 2050, like the best outcome for 2050. And Ash and Jeremy are going to focus on what if the trends went downhill. Okay, what would be like the worst outcome? And then you're going to draw it we're going to come together and have a discussion. Is anyone confused about that at the moment? Cool, so I'll give you 5 or so minutes to hand these pictures out and get into your groups and have a real discussion about what you think these places could be looking like.
2 seconds, man.
Okay, so you
Jake,
guys...
some of these statements make me really unhappy.
Yeah? Yeah. We're going to discuss that, eh? We're going to talk about that.
Really grind my gears.
Yeah.
Cool, well, we'll come back in, guys, to the table.
Alright.
It's also a volcano that can blow up.
I'll probably move the best case scenario.
Yeah. Just colour it orange.
This wouldn't happen to it, like,
Cool. Awesome. So guys, this is gonna be quite an open discussion now. We're gonna go around and talk about each of our drawings, and everyone's welcome to pip in with what they're thinking, and yeah, I'd like to get your view about, is this reality? Could this happen in 2050? What's some of the issues with the vision I kind of wrote down, the red writing, and yeah, just have open discussion. So would you like to start?
Yeah, so what happened with that beautiful Matuki Valley is we've started pumping water from the river so that the ground is good enough for growing crops such as carrots. So this whole valley is now just being used for growing produce for people to eat, as well as there's lots more cow poop, which smells, and CH4 in the atmosphere, methane from all the cows. Yes. So yeah, lots of fenced areas and carrots.
Okay, thank you. We might go around and share everyone's and then have a discussion again. Thanks.
Do you want us to go next or?
Yeah.
So we're very positive about 2050. That the cesspool gorge and the Arahura River would remain pristine, untouched sanctuary as it is today. It's so remote anyway. I mean, worst case scenario might be a little bit flawed with 1080. Probably be fine. Yeah.
What does it look like now?
Oh, we just it was a slow process. I've just been filling out the pool. A lot of water in here, and we detailed a little bit of the rapids and some of the moves needed to safely navigate through this section. It's quite complex, alright. This is my picture.
It's my Taranaki.
And we got more farms around it, so the farming increased to feed the more people. Sorry guys. The more people got the more food. So the little track up to the top is now like a road, and there's a car park there, and there's more brown, so that would imply less snow, which would be the white. Less green, more farm. There's cows and sheep. Over here there's a digger, and it's going to continue to build this natural gas thing here, pumping oil out. And there's like a big fancy hotel thing on the top there, just to look at stuff. And it's probably, by the looks of this, going to sell some sort of rice dish. My picture.
Okay. Wicked. Thanks for sharing that, guys. Let's open it up as a discussion. Who is having other thoughts about, or who thinks some of these maybe? What's some issues with this vision, with these visions that are set?
The idea of Auckland just continuing to grow, that it's just going to take over all of those little beautiful places that surround Auckland, because there's a lot of them, and they're all just going to end up populated.
Yeah. Do you think that is likely?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm English, but I think I'd have better faith in New Zealand not to trash the national parks.
Yeah.
Or sell off to private businesses. I think that they would try their best to keep it going, to preserve it for as long as possible, and build better buildings in the city.
Yeah. Cool.
I've got faith in the national parks being safe.
Yeah.
New Zealand's
Not
still
selling them to
yeah.
offshore investors for the highest price, 49%. John Key, 49%. It's good. It's 49%.
It's a sweet deal.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, so you got faith. You reckon we'll preserve? Why do you reckon they'll say?
One of the things that makes me think that they're investing in the national parks and keeping our wildlife is the amount that the country's just invested in pest control, and they're putting like a whole heap of money into getting rid of the possums.
It's tourism is our biggest earner.
Yeah.
We make more money from tourism in New Zealand than we do from exploiting what we produce.
John Key just said he's going to get rid of possums as well, so that'll help.
Don't help.
The national park.
Yeah.
I mean, good on him too.
It's not get trash.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. If there's no natural pristine to bring tourism there, then people are going to leave and we're going to be out of money as a country. I just built some wind farms on my things.
One thing I'd like to talk about, Keith, would be the last point where your opinion I thought was quite controversial.
Yeah.
We will still be leaders in animal agriculture. I just want to take a few moments to let it sink in. Do you really think we're leaders in animal agriculture? Globally?
I think we have some of the highest quality products in terms of dairy and meat that we produce in New Zealand. Don't necessarily mean in terms of environmentally friendly farming, but I think we produce some of the highest quality.
And do you think, I guess,
animal products? Yeah.
this is what the discussion's about. Is that going to be changing, and will that change in a positive or negative way? Because I think that's something that we're slowly starting to become more aware of. Is that we talk the talks there, but actually, are we leaders in that environmentally?
Yeah.
We certainly are.
We don't have indoor cows though, do we?
No.
No.
We
say we're
have,
the last.
I'd say that New Zealand's got
That's a measure
one of
straight
the
away.
most innovative agricultural industries in the world. There's definitely farmers out there who are putting money, if they've got it, that is, into better systems, but they've got to have the money to be able to change that, because they're coming from maybe an old farm that doesn't have that infrastructure, and it requires maybe millions of dollars to transition that way. But there is the technology there. People can afford it. So what does that mean? If New Zealand wanted to remain a leader of animal agriculture,
We have to ride that way.
then in a way the government or something's going to need to support that change.
I think that's a really interesting one to watch. I know I'll be very curious to see where that goes in my lifetime.
Totally taking positive steps though, is like get the cows out of the waterways. I know Taranaki is now surrounded with dairy farms, and every waterway is now being fenced off properly as part of legislation and then planted with plants that take more nitrogen out of the water. And it's very native, so they're trying to take the nutrients out of the water before it gets to the ocean, which is putting the farming out of balance. So they're trying to clear up the waterways and stuff.
And when you think about it compared to New South Wales side of the Murray River, where there's no fences at all, the cows just go walk in the water and shit in it.
And that's a big thing, because there's no things changing. It's just that much
There you go.
What do you guys think about, let's just say Auckland, what do you guys think about the different races in Auckland and the fact that they think there'll be more Asians in New Zealand than Māori, but also more Asians in Auckland than any other race.
That's probably the pricing out of the housing market too, hey? So foreign investors. And it's also...
What effect do you think that is going to have on maybe national identity, or what effect's that going to have on our...
Everyone hates Auckland anyway, so it's going to be probably... It's just going to turn from Jaffa to some sort of... It might bring some racism, but Jaffa, the meaning will change. It'll be just another Australia. Yeah, it could be. But I think you talk about cultural diversity.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
It's already there.
Look,
you walk down Queen Street and if you're Pākehā, you're one of the few that are there. It's true. So, I don't know, I think it could bring more acceptance because we tend to be quite racist about Asians particularly.
Yeah. Look,
hopefully it will bring more.
Yeah, I think it's already happening there. I'd just like to defer to some of our Australian members present. In your national anthem, how's it go, Dave? How's it go?
Australians all let us rejoice.
Yeah, for we're young and free. And something about coming over the sea.
For those who've come across the seas with boundless plains to share.
There you go. So I think we're really walking the talk of the Australian anthem there by letting them come in and just leading by example for our neighbours across the ditch.
Funny how the Australian anthem doesn't say anything about people that walk here, though, hey?
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah. No, I think it's. I think we're already one of the leaders in that.
Put your hand up. Put your hand up if you think New Zealand in 2050 could potentially be a better New Zealand than present.
Or potentially.
Or if you think it will.
I don't know enough.
No chance.
Yeah, it depends.
Depends on
it's going to be better.
50 years ago from right now, things were not as good as they are right now. Unfortunately, general progress dictates that things will be better. Healthcare, education,
There'll be more
income. It's going to be more humans, but that's too.
50 years ago. The thing is, when you say better, it's an abstract term. You think about the advances we have made in the last 50 years, and that is not going to slow down. This is.
But how are you measuring that?
I'm measuring on human progress.
Are you
So life quality is
measuring
going to increase. Health.
Are you measuring it on right now
education.
as well? Because things like climate change and how that could affect things will throw more spanners in the works, and so we'll have to rethink about that, and maybe we can't counteract it.
I want to take you back to Aotearoa before the humans arrived. Was that a better New Zealand than it is now? Yeah, because I think so. Yeah. So if we're getting more people, space. That's
how much will we adjust to that? More population growth by another million.
That's not a positive. No, that's not always positive, because if you take New Zealand way back to before even the Māori arrived, it was an amazing place. Yeah. And I know, I read about it.
Hey, on that note, I think, thank you guys for the discussion. Feel free to continue this at home or whatever if you want to, but this has been perfect, and you can wrap that.
I can sing! I can sing too!
I also consent.